Chapter 2. Why I Walked Across America. Why was the most common question from anyone who asked about the walk. I don't think I've ever been asked the same question so many times. Might as well get it out of the way here, right? That wasn't a complaint, by the way. Of course, the people I came across were going to be curious in that way. And I'm sure you're wondering too. The problem is, it was hard for me to explain to a stranger in a few sentences, which is what they really wanted. I was dedicating over 3 months of my life to this experience. How could I give them that when the real answer, the one that kept me going, was so much more and something that I couldn't even fully understand myself? The explanations I gave differed depending on who I was talking with. Those I spent more time with, I felt I could explain more and be more open. It felt like a never-ending list of answers in my own head. Surely I didn't put myself through this hell only to prove the person who told me I wouldn't go through with the walk wrong, but I know it had to be a driving factor. I could play it off as being solely for the adventure, but I can't deny that my parents' divorce and losing a long-term relationship within a year of each other, both being my main support systems, left me stuck with the urge to continually run away from whatever situation I was in. In fact, not too many months after Posner finished his walk, I longboarded 430 miles across my home state of Kansas with my friend George. While it was a much smaller undertaking than walking across the entire country, it was an accomplishment I took pride in and gave me some experience to fall back on throughout the walk. A month after the longboard trek, in the span of 24 hours, I left my college town, quit my job, and subleased my apartment. 3 days later, I bought a Chevy Astro. I converted that thing into a camper and tried to spend time traveling around in it. This was absolutely a huge turning point in my adult life, because for the first time, I hit a massive breaking point and faced difficult choices. On one hand, I could have reacted passively and stayed where I was at. Although it was the safer way, I knew it wasn't the right one for me. My other option was to make some hard decisions and do what I knew was best for me, regardless of how I would be perceived for it. I had spent years playing my life so safely. Every spare dollar went into savings. I kept to a tight budget, and admittedly, I didn't let myself have too much fun. I was getting a lot of the balance of my life so wrong, though I didn't realize it at the time. I don't believe in blowing money because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, but there's a pretty good chance we're going to wake up, and for me, it's nice to feel financially secure. But at the same time, I wanted to enjoy the life I'm living, and that requires taking risks. However, I wasn't sure I was taking the right ones. The funny thing is, all the time that I did have the van, I was in such a poor mental state that I couldn't bear to be away from family and friends for more than a few days at a time. I had dreamed of the van life for years, and here I was, finally in a position to move forward and make that dream a reality, and I wasn't. I had only taken a few trips away, traveling a total of maybe 5,000 miles, when I had dreamed it would be a several-month adventure. I felt like a failure. I couldn't commit to van life, and at the same time, I was struggling to finish film projects, and honestly, filling most of my time with pointless endeavors. One day, I was listening to music in my car. Slow It Down by Mike Posner came on. You know how you can listen to a song 100 times, and that 101st time you finally understand a lyric? That's what happened to me that day. There's a line in this song, "My problems are excuses for not being who I am." I still don't know if I fully understand it, but something about it all made sense at that moment. I wasn't happy because I knew I wasn't 100% going for everything I wanted. There's always a reason to not do the things you want to do. You just have to find a way around them. I had a million reasons to put off walking across America. I should wait until I have more money. I'm not in good enough shape. Shouldn't I be starting my career? No. My problems are excuses for not being who I am. Some of these were completely legitimate concerns. A lot of my fears came true. However, I considered a trade-off, sacrifices necessary to achieve my goals. I am confident in what I gave up to make the walk happen. On that day, because of how I understood that line, I decided I was going to walk across America, and I would do so regardless of any obstacle that stood in the way. All of these events contributed in their own way to finally pushing me to pull the trigger, a result of the initial seed that was planted when I joined Posner's Walk. I set my go date on July 24th, 2021 and stuck to it. Regardless of who I met, if I would be able to take that amount of time off of work, Whatever unknown challenges I might face, this walk was going to happen.